Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We live. We back, man. Welcome back. If you don't know me, this your first time here. I'm your humble host, Chandler Blakely, aka Goose. This is the Golden Goose DFS experience where we specialize in single entry 3 max and 20 max contests. So if that's your particular style of play, man, you stumbled across the right spot. But hey, maybe you're a 150 max, a cash game player, head to head, double ups, I don't know. Whatever type of contest you play, man, it's still one of the best spots you can be. I suggest you go and hit that subscribe button, then go and turn your notification bells on so you know when the video and content drops, alright? And since we in the since we in the business of clicking things, let's go on and click that like button for your boy. It's greatly appreciated. It helps the channel out, man, and I appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in. If it's your first time here, this is my third and goal series where I bring you three guys that should definitely be in my player pool, barring any major injuries or anything like that. Sometimes they fall out, but listen, hey, if you want access to my complete player pool, my live stream before lock, man, one-on-one help consultation with your lineup building and strategies, man, the Patreon link is down below. Come on over and officially join the game. But like I was saying, this is my third and goal series where I bring you three plays from across the style of contest we enter. Man, I try to provide for you a single entry 3 max and a 20 max play here, with taking into consideration that 3 max and single entry are really the same thing. I kind of count them as the same. But let's get to it. I don't like to hold you long. I know you got plenty of other content to consume and other things to do. All right, three quarterbacks I'm looking at this week. Overall, the quarterback position, um, it's looking okay. It's looking okay. I don't like the price tags of some of the QBs and the spots they're in, but hey, we got good matchups. The pricing is becoming more efficient. Like I told you in my earlier videos, man. First couple of weeks of the season, it's real easy to build lineups, but as the season goes on, that salary gets more efficient and more accurate. It gets a little tougher to build lineups. But I got three plays to assist you in that. My first QB play, man, starting at the top, the thumbnail. We gonna get right to it, man. Tua Tagovailoa here at 7,100. Like this spot for them. They at home, one of the higher team totals on the slate. They playing against a Giants team that just does not have it together. I don't. Daniel Jones cost me so much money last night, but that's another story, man. Love Tua here, and you know exactly who to pair him up with. His receivers are a little price. I'm sorry, I can't speak this morning, man. We're gonna get it together though. Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. I don't want nothing else from this passing game. Hopefully, this is the game they finally get Waddle involved. He hasn't really had a big game this year. He had an okay game to start the year. Hasn't done much since, but hopefully they can get to him in this matchup and let him have the big game. You know, he's every season. Well, going back to last season, he's going to have some explosive games. And Tyreek Hill is the main guy, but you did have games with Waddle with a high score. Want them both here with Tua. Tua is not going to run much. Probably don't want to run back in this spot. Maybe you can go Darren Waller here if you want to. He's one of Daniel Jones' favorite target, but you do got Kelsey on this slate, so your tight end might have to hit because if Kelsey goes crazy, you already know how that go. But so I would probably just no run back on this particular stack. But if I were, it'll be a value piece down here at the bottom, man. And Wan'Dale Robinson at 3K. 2 games back now, we see he's involved in the offense. He even got a rushing attempt last night. It looks like they're trying to get him the ball. They want him to make plays for him. If I did get a run back, it'd be Wan'Dale Robinson at the dirt cheap here for a nice value piece. So. But I'll probably just run this naked. It just depends on how the rest of my lineup go, whether I need this value piece or run back. That's how I'm looking at this Miami stack. All right? Next QB for you, man. This guy we kind of got off of last week just because of the particular game environment. I think we can go right back to him, though, this week. Talking about Kirk Cousins here at 6,900. Probably going to garner some ownership, I would imagine. Going against the Kansas City Chiefs here. One of the higher total games on the slate. You don't have a whole lot up there this week. It's only like 2 games that's right there, that 50-point mark. And then everything else is kind of middling between 44, 47 around that mark. So, like getting the Kirk Cousins here, he's probably going to be a little popular. But you got a spot you can get different at. You know to pair him with Jefferson. 9,400. Everybody, I won't build a Kirk Cousins stack without Jefferson. I'm just gonna be real with you. That's probably the whole year, entirety of the year. I never have a Kirk Cousins stack without Jefferson, just like I won't have a Mahomes stack without Kelsey. This is his guy, so definitely pairing with him. Now at this second receiving option, you can get a little different, man. You got Addison to choose from, Osborne, and even another tight end in T.J. Hockenson. But once again, it is a Kelsey slate, so you probably need, if Kelsey goes crazy, you might need something from your tight end. So be careful with your tight end decisions. With me, I don't mind going right back to Addison. Listen, they didn't have a good game through the air last game, but that's hard to do with only 19 passing attempts, man. You can barely support one pass catcher, let alone with two. So I'm not, I'm not concerned at all with that performance they did last week. I like going to Addison here, but KJ Osborne is in play if you want to go that route to 4,100. If you need a little more salary savings here, maybe you're gonna run Kelsey back here. You probably need this salary saving. Um, I'm probably gonna go with Addison. Maybe TJ Hawkinson. It depends on how ownership is shaking out towards the end of the week. But for me, more than likely, it's gonna be Addison. And now the run back, majority of people are gonna go Kelsey with this run back. But that can get real expensive. I may go there in some cousin stacks, but for sure my favorite piece of this will probably be Pacheco, man. I would love running cousins back with this Pacheco 5,700. It's a little more pocket friendly here and helps you build out the rest of your lineups. He just had a solid game this past game. Listen, they want him to be the guy. He dominates the touches in the backfield here. He only gets one or two pass attempts, but he dominates pretty much all the rushing touches. And we finally seen him get into the box and have that big game for us. I love the price tag on him here this week at 5,700. He's probably gonna be my favorite run back on my Minnesota stacks, provided I do a run back. Cause you may not necessarily have to do a run back here. I know Kansas City is heavy favorite, but if it ain't Kelsey, man, ain't no telling who it could be for these Kansas City Chiefs if you go into that passing game. But this is how I plan to attack this with my Minnesota stacks. All right, and now your third pick. Listen, this is for sure a 20 max play, man, for sure. If I was doing a couple in the million maker, this would be that play. All right, I need y'all to just trust me and walk with me here. Hear me out. Don't disown me after you hear this. All right. But this is how my mind works, man. This how I get to my 20 max and GPP plays. But the quarterback I got my eye on is no other than Zach Wilson, 4,900. I know, I probably can see the look on your face. You probably thinking to yourself, what the? Listen, Zach Wilson, 4,900. That's right, man. I think we can all agree against the Kansas City Chiefs. We saw a little spark of life over there out of Zach Wilson. He looked like he may be grabbing a hold to this concept of what he needs to be doing or how to be an NFL QB. I saw signs of life there. He gave you an okay fantasy output. Actually helped somebody win the showdown slate if you was on it. He gave you 20 fantasy points at 4,900. I don't think that's asking too much for somewhat similar performance here in this spot against the Denver Broncos, which we all can agree is probably one of the worst defenses in the league right now. We saw what a struggling Justin Fields did last week against them. Now they coming into this spot against Zach Wilson and the Jets, man. If that spark did happen, if he's finally starting to see something, I tell you what, he for sure gets a great spot to perfect it in this next game. They're projected for 21 points here. That shows me it's at least 3 touchdowns. It's only like a 2-point spread on this game. So that tells me if they was in New York, given Zach Wilson's last performance, they probably would be favored or at least a pick 'em if they was in New York. I'm going to Zach Wilson here in my 20 max at 4,900. Super cheap stack, going to allow you to build how you want to build. You definitely can get different. He has a couple of passing options. Surprisingly, you got Garrett Wilson. I don't mind a little Allen Lazard, and his tight end is in play. So if you want to punt that tight end, get you some salary saving, and go away from Kelsey, this is where I would go, man. I got a little eye on this Zach Wilson stat, man. Don't y'all disown me, man. And you also have a run back on the Denver side. I would just go with Cortland Sutton here, but Jerry Jeudy's in play. He's gonna have a big game soon, man. I think they link up here and get that rhythm and chemistry back soon. So I don't mind you going Jerry Jeudy, but for me it'll be Cortland Sutton right here. Now you got to look at all the salary you got, man. This is a triple stack. This is overload. So if you going, let's say I'll probably go Wilson and Conklin here just to punt Kelsey because I know he's gonna be high on in that matchup. And I would look at this stack right here. Now you got 6,100 left. Probably a little more than that. You go down here and get you a little cheap defense, man. You can be rocking right here, man. This is strictly a GPP play, man. Don't y'all disown me for this stack right here. But like I said, you gotta think different in the GPPs, and I think this could be a decent spot for him. If he gets that 20 fantasy points for him, I don't think that's asking too much. Now he's not an explosive runner, but he will use his legs a little bit. What happens if he falls in the end zone for a touchdown, man? He was 28 of 39 last game, 245 yards. I think that's doable again, man. If he gets you 20 points, you're not upset. And if he just happens to get you another touchdown here or fall in the end zone for a rushing touchdown, you're going to be more than ecstatic, man. I like getting the Zach Wilson here in this spot. Strictly 20 max game. Strictly 20 max, all right? But listen, man, that's your first look video, my third and goal video at the quarterback this week. That's going to do it for us here today, man. Y'all already know the motto. Chances make champions. Y'all green up. I'll catch y'all next time, all right? Let's get it.